Hi, and welcome. So, it's been quite a week. I'm having a final in chemistry, which is currently putting me around the bend, but we'll get there. One class that I'm taking right now is on emotional intelligence or your EQ. And this book is a bit expensive. I got it for free through the class. And it's interesting. Right here, you would find a little code in this little orange envelope. We don't have scissors, so I had to use my thumb. So that's, I swear, one day, along with an electronic coffee pot, a pair of sharp scissors, or 3 or 4, and maybe, sharp knives for vegetables, because right at the moment, unfortunately, when you're living in a place where because I'm in transitional housing after having been homeless after the fire in January, and there are some people who can't be trusted with sharp objects, so nobody can have them, which, great. Hi, and welcome. So, welcome to progress. Progress is a great thing, but you also have to remember to be easy on yourself. And I guess one of my biggest problems is over-functioning and kind of guessing at the atmosphere around me so I can act accordingly. One thing I used to do before I got hearing aids was guessing at what people were saying, which isn't great, and just in general not really being at my best because I was perpetually trying to be ahead of people so that I didn't actually show any faults that I could think of, because I wanted to be showing that I was capable, and sometimes showing that you're capable means that you've asked for help first. And I had to do a lot of that this year because I became homeless due to a fire. I moved into transitional housing after being homeless, after going through the gamut. But there's some good things. There's a class that I'm taking. We got these for free, and I highly recommend. There's a test in the back in this little orange envelope. They'll give you a little code. You can take the test, figure out what you need to do to help yourself. In my case, it's breathing right. I'm, inhale deeply, exhale deeply. Don't do the Lamaze breathing, Sleep on it. Taking control of your self-talk. That is, not being a complete jerk to yourself. For example, I get an 85 in a test. The perfectionistic part of me, I know perfectionistic is probably not a word, but we're going to use it. I have my own language. And it involves things like hand-egg for what Americans call football. And my band name, Syntactical Collision, because syntactical collision is a beautiful phrase. Anyway, take control of your self-talk. Don't be a mean to yourself because you didn't get as high as you wanted on a test. Don't say to yourself, but I'm not where I need to be, or I'm not where I want to be. Okay, but steps. Don't rush yourself. Don't push yourself in a way that can be abusive, because people can abuse themselves. And okay, so there's a song I like called Die Vampire Die, or Morte Vampire Morte. And one of the things they talk about is the way that you talk to yourself. And if some jerk on a subway platform said these things, you'd be like, you're an asshole. So what you wouldn't want to hear from someone else who's being an asshole, you should not do to yourself. And I'm learning that. Clean up your sleep hygiene the same way that you would clean up after yourself, and add a little bit of makeup or do your hair a different way if you can. Speaking of, a friend and I are thinking of making appointments for ourselves to go get hair did, and it's been years since I've had a haircut. And while I want it long, I also want it nice, so we shall see. We're thinking about it. Don't overthink, don't just work on, but and when you make progress, that progress is good. Keep doing that. And focus on the attention on your freedom as opposed to your limitations. And that's a little bit difficult right now because, after all, I'm still working on finding my own place in the world, in society, a place I can call mine, using newfound freedom, working on me, focusing on Beth and not worrying and not letting people hurt me. As opposed to, well, I can't do that because I'm now afraid of water because I've had a seizure in the tub and I'm still terrified, or something along that line. My worry that I'm going to have a breakthrough seizure, for example. But yet I have freedom and I am getting so much better. And I always feel like it's wrong to brag, like it sounds narcissistic, like you're talking about yourself, and you end up being like, if I do say so myself. But yeah, put a mental recharge into your schedule, especially if you're the kind of person like me who kind of likes people, but after being around them for a while, if it's too loud or whatever, you end up needing to recharge yourself like you would your phone or your computer, etc., etc. Learning when to say when, even though you feel rude because you're not really talking to people. And they might feel a bit upset because they think that you're mad at them, when in all actuality, it's just you've had way too much going on. And now you are below the red zone. You're going to turn off. And that's okay. So, among other things, while it is $38, you might be able to find older editions on, say, Abe Books or Thrift Books. It's the same stuff, and you might even be able to find one with the envelope still shut so that you can take the quiz for yourself and figure out what you need to do on www.talentsmarteq.com/test. And after that, you can keep looking and talking about your progress and the things that you're doing for yourself. And that is important, if I do say so myself. So there's that. Next up, a song I'm really loving lately, Love Grows Where My Rosemary Goes. It's a wonderful song by Edison Lighthouse from the 1970s. I love it, love it, love it. I am reminding myself today. In the song, the Rosemary, apparently her clothes are a bit weird and she doesn't have any money, but she is charming and she's got all the charms, and the narrator is just in love. And every little thing that she does is beautiful. So there's your song for the day. Edison Lighthouse, Love Grows Where My Rosemary Goes. And also make sure that you grow. So there is Emotional Intelligence 2.0. I also was given this, which has a lot of good information about dietetics and nutrition from a biblical point of view, which can be interesting, but beware that it doesn't get too preachy, because that can be bad. That can turn you off. So call up a friend and focus on what you have rather than what you don't have. And that's something that I'm working on. Not being overly perfectionistic. Oh, well, I got an 85 and that's not good enough. Well, for who? And I will get there. That's all part of the cleaning up your self-talk bit. And anyway, just know you are loved. You've got all of that. And don't be a jerk to yourself. Don't be the person that you would see on a subway platform being a complete and total jerk and think, ugh. Because you live in your body. So anyway, you are so, so loved. Morte vampire, morte. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a test to finish. Try 3, because at the moment, I'm still working on not being overly perfectionistic, and I want all the credits I can get. Na zdrowie.